What is up, Lord of the Rings fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we got a special tier ranking video. A couple of weeks back I did a tier ranking of all the Lord of the Rings heroes. So today I thought it'd only be right to do a tier ranking of all the Lord of the Rings villains. Make sure to comment down below your guys' ranking of these 10 main villains down below. And I say 10 because I only counted about 10 villains that had a deep enough impact inside these three movies. We're not including the Hobbit movies, only the 3 Lord of the Rings movies. And with that said, let's go ahead and hop right into our tiers. First up, we have amazing, then we have great, then we have good, then we have meh, then we have bad. And these guys are in no particular order. So first up, we have Gollum, Mr. Andy Serkis himself. And I have to put Gollum in the amazing tier because he's kind of like a good guy and a bad guy. You don't know who to believe, Smeagol or Gollum. They're both very devious and manipulative characters, but the character Gollum, you can tell, is like obviously the mean alter ego, and Smeagol's kind of like, oh, we're all good and fun and games here. And Andy Serkis does such a great job portraying this just creepy looking little creature who was once a hobbit. So Smeagol and Gollum is one of my favorite villains and honestly characters in any movie ever. He's funny, but he's also like relentless and vicious, and he just wants the one thing, and that's the ring. And Gollum, to me, is very likable, but also you hate him too. So he has a very, very good role. And in the first Fellowship of the Ring movie, you don't really get to see Gollum. You have one scene of him, but like you don't really get to know much about him. But then come in the Two Towers, he comes in basically right away, and he becomes one of the focal points of the film. And in Return of the King, becomes a major focal point, becomes the guide really for Frodo and Sam. So I really, really do like Gollum quite a bit. Then we have Saruman, and I have to put Saruman in the amazing tier as well. He is the Gandalf of the villains in the Lord of the Rings franchise, and he did something that no one thought was possible. That's what he talks to Wormtongue about. He literally got 10,000 orcs to go and march on Helm's Deep. Saruman, he's so good at like picking a side that he thought was going to win. Obviously, he was wrong in the long run, but he was such a good general, and he just knew what he wanted. And when him and Gandalf the Grey fought in Fellowship of the Ring, and Saruman just put a whooping on Gandalf's ass, I mean, Saruman is a villain that you don't really necessarily like, but he's portrayed so well. And him as Count Dooku, and here as Saruman the White, you gotta love Saruman. He's fantastic. Really, really well done. Next up is the Balrog from Fellowship of the Ring, and I'm going to put the Balrog in good just because we don't have a lot of him. And the only major thing that happens, though, is he takes down Gandalf, and that scene alone is so just impactful and emotional. I remember my young self was so sad, and I still get sad when I see the scene of Frodo screaming no, how just heartbroken he was that his friend Gandalf got taken down by the Balrog, and fly, you fools. The Balrog was so badass, and I wish we got a little bit more of him, but the time we got with him, I cherished it, and the Balrog made it as one of the main villains, and he was really, really good, really badass, and the special effects on him for 2001 when this movie came out, I mean, it looked flawless. Next up, we have Lurtz, another villain from the Fellowship of the Ring, and I'm going to put Lurtz in great. Lurtz is the bad of the bad. He's so good, and takes out Boromir, one of the most emotional and kind of like, it's almost like peaceful endings ever would happen to a character, Boromir, when he gets 3 arrows in him. You kind of expected that because Boromir's kind of the villain of our hero group, and I almost included him on this list, but I didn't because I love Boromir as a character. But when Lurtz takes Boromir out, it hits home, it hits hard, and as I said, it's kind of like a peaceful ending, but it's more of like a, you feel like satisfied that the character Boromir, who was kind of divisive throughout the whole film, he went out with honor, and Lurtz took him that way. And when Lurtz and Aragorn fight, and I mean, Lurtz wasn't there to mess around. He was there to snap necks and cash checks and get the halflings, and Lurtz is a really great character. Next, we have Gothmog, and I might not be saying his name right, but I'm going to put Gothmog in, honestly, meh. He's really just a general in Return of the King, and we don't really get a lot of him, and I actually had to look him up to find out his name. He's just an orc with one eye. That's what I always refer to him as, and I'm not going to spend too much time on him. He's just a good general, and he tells guys what to do, and that's really it. So on to the next one. Next up, we have Wormtongue Grima. Wormtongue is, you hate him. You hate him so much, and he's just a sidekick to Saruman. He's kind of up there his whole end, but I'm gonna put him in the meh tier as well. He's Saruman's kind of like, he's like his voice to Theoden when they poison a mine of Theoden in the Two Towers, and Wormtongue is just this devious little guy. He banishes Éomer, and you don't like him. You don't like him at all. And if you guys have seen the extended version of Return of the King, you know that you just get a satisfying ending with him. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but something really funny and awesome happens to him. So I don't like the character Wormtongue at all. I think he's a fine villain, but he never did anything himself. He was just an echo to Saruman, to say the least. Next up, the Witch King of Angmar. You have to put him in amazing because he really got the light in Return of the King. And, I mean, what he did on the Nas Ghoul, he took out Theoden, and you kind of just thought of, like, okay, who is this guy? And of the Nas Ghoul, why is he wearing a helmet? And the Witch King is so badass. He doesn't get, like, a really big spotlight, but when him and his Nas Ghoul dragon, they take out Theoden, that is emotional. It's a gut-wrencher, and I am not a man. No man can kill him, but sure as heck a woman can. I really do enjoy the Witch King quite a bit. Next up, we have the Nas Ghoul. The Nas Ghoul have to go in amazing. And they really had the light in Fellowship of the Ring. They were chasing Arwen and Frodo when Frodo got stabbed with a poisonous blade. That's when you really like, who are these people? And the Fellowship of the Ring was kind of like, these were like the only main villains we really had in Lord of the Rings, until obviously the orcs and Lurtz towards the end of the film. But it was just these, like, who are these mysterious dark riders and these wraiths? Like, this is scary. They gave you like a really intense kind of vibe off them, and the Nazgul are so awesome, and you see them through every film. But the Fellowship of the Ring, their impact in that movie, very, very well done. Next up is Sauron, and we don't get a lot of Sauron, and I always wish we did, but he has to go in amazing just because the aura and like how we just thought of Sauron, like, oh my god, it's Sauron, oh my god, what if Sauron comes back, oh my god, don't let Sauron get the ring, because he then becomes the Eye of Sauron, obviously. But if he gets the ring, who knows what's gonna happen? Maybe he comes back, maybe something crazy. But Sauron was more of like, he was more of like that guy, like when you thought of him, you're like, oh, it gave you the chills, it gave you the heebie-jeebies. Sauron is one of those villains that didn't really have a big spotlight. He did in a Fellowship for a little bit in the beginning of the movie, where he is just, he's really just destroying anyone in his path, and everyone's just intimidated by him. But us as viewers just know he's there, and whenever like you see the eye, it makes you think of him, and it gives you the heebie-jeebies quite a bit. So Sauron is one of the villains that doesn't have a lot of screen time, but just one that's so captivating without even being on the screen. So Sauron's freaking awesome. And finally, we have Denethor. Faramir and Boromir's father. I'm going to put Denethor in bad. Just really because, first off, he's not likable. You hate this guy so much. The only thing that he does good is he gets Pippin to sing a song. Other than that, he's just frustrating. But you got to see, I guess, where he's coming from, because his favorite son, Boromir, dies, and then he basically tries to burn Faramir on fire. This guy just doesn't make sense. And when Mordor becomes like marching on Minas Tirith, and he's like, fear and run for your lives, you're like, God. And then Gandalf whacks him with a staff and yells, prepare for battle. Denethor is he's just a loser. And then he tries to burn Faramir alive. It all just didn't make sense. So, and when Denethor died in Return of the King, I laughed to this day. He catches on fire and runs off. So I think the death for Denethor is probably the best. But Denethor is, no one likes him. I think everyone can agree Denethor sucks. So there you guys have it. There's my tier ranking for all the Lord of the Rings villains. I didn't include Shelob on this list. I just didn't feel like she had that big of an impact. So Shelob is the big Black Widow spider. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to be doing a lot more Middle Earth content on Mondays, starting a new segment called Middle Earth Monday. So make sure you guys subscribe and make sure you guys are here for that. Do me a favor and go see a movie, and I'll see you guys next time.